So, what if the key to understanding your very own brain didn't come from a dusty textbook, but from an astrophysicist and a sitcom star? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today, using a totally fascinating conversation between Neil deGrasse Tyson and neuroscientist Mayim Bialik. We're going to break down everything from how TV shapes our view of the mind to the wild future of consciousness itself.
And this quote right here, this is our hook. You probably know Mayim Bialik as Amy Farrah Fowler on The Big Bang Theory. But here's the thing, she isn't just playing a scientist, she is one. She has a PhD in neuroscience, which gives her this absolutely unique perspective on how science gets shown to the world, and more importantly, how our own brains really truly work.
So you've got the fictional neurobiologist on one side and the real-life PhD on the other. This dual identity, well, that's our way in. It's our bridge from a hit TV show straight into the heart of modern neuroscience.
All right, so let's start right there with the small screen. How in the world can a sitcom, of all things, actually change the way we think about what a normal brain even is?
Think about the characters on The Big Bang Theory. They're obviously brilliant, but as Bialik herself puts it, they're technically unconventional socially. You think of Sheldon, who fans always speculate might have Asperger's or OCD. So the real question is, how does the show actually handle that?
And this is a really crucial point from Bialik. The show made a very deliberate choice not to put a label on its characters. Their quirks and traits aren't presented as some kind of problem that needs to be fixed. Instead, you just see these people who are probably told their whole lives they'd never fit in, going on to build amazing careers, have social lives, and form really meaningful relationships. And you know what's cool? This actually mirrors a huge shift happening in real-world science. As neuroscientist Heather Berlin points out, psychiatry is moving away from these rigid, neat little boxes. The official diagnostic manual, the DSM-5, doesn't even list Asperger's anymore. It's now part of autism spectrum disorders, which is a way of recognizing that these traits exist on a continuum. Life, just like the show, is way less about labels and a lot more about a spectrum.
So that idea of a spectrum, it takes us even deeper. We're moving from how we act to one of the biggest, most profound mysteries in all of science. What in the world is consciousness?
Okay, first thing we have to get straight is that consciousness and self-awareness are not the same thing. Consciousness is just the raw experience. It's the simple sensation of seeing the color red. Self-awareness, that's the next level up. It's the thought about the experience. It's realizing, hey, I am the one seeing this red. A baby experiences the world, it's conscious, long before it has any concept of a self. Now, this distinction leads to a really profound medical and ethical question. If someone's in a coma, if they're physically unresponsive, does that automatically mean their inner world is just dark? Is there anybody home?
And the science on this is just wow. In this groundbreaking experiment, researchers took an unresponsive patient and put them into an fMRI scanner. They gave a simple command: imagine you're playing tennis. Now, the patient's body didn't move an inch, but their brain scan, it lit up in the exact same patterns as a healthy, conscious person doing the same thing. The answer was a shocking, unbelievable yes. Someone was home. They were conscious, they were aware, and they were hearing everything.
Okay, so from the very edge of consciousness, let's pull back to something we all do every single night, but we probably don't think about enough: sleep.
Neil deGrasse Tyson asked the question that, let's be honest, we've all wondered. Why do we have to go semi-comatose for 8 hours a day? It just feels like a huge waste of productive time, right? So what is our brain really doing when we're checked out?
The absolute best way to think about it is this. Sleep is your brain's essential housekeeping service. All day long, your brain is just getting flooded with information. And at the same time, it's building up all this metabolic waste. Think of it like mental clutter. It's just too busy during the day to clean and organize at the same time. That's a job for the night shift.
So while you're sleeping, your brain is anything but off. It's busy cleaning out all that gunk, it's locking in your important memories, and it's basically deleting all the irrelevant noise from the day. And this isn't just about remembering where you left your keys. This nightly cleaning process might actually help clear out the toxic proteins that are linked to devastating diseases like Alzheimer's. Which brings us to our final frontier, the brain of tomorrow. Because as we learn more about how to understand the brain, we're also learning how to change it. And that opens up some absolutely incredible possibilities and some pretty massive ethical questions.
Look, this is not science fiction anymore. This is happening right now. Neuroprosthetics are being used today to treat conditions like Parkinson's. They are literally helping the deaf to hear and the blind to see. But the next logical step is enhancement, going beyond just repair to actually improve memory, focus, and intelligence.
And the tools that scientists are using are getting unbelievably precise. Take this technique called optogenetics. This sounds like it's straight out of a movie. Scientists take a gene from light-sensitive algae, put it into specific neurons in the brain, and then they can turn those brain cells on or off with a literal flash of light. It's just a mind-boggling level of control.
And this right here leads us to the central question. The line between fixing a problem and enhancing a person is getting incredibly blurry. I mean, curing blindness, that feels like an obvious good, but what about boosting your memory just so you can ace an exam? Where do we as a society decide to draw that line?
Because the real issue here is what it does to society. If these powerful enhancements are only available to people who can afford them, what happens then? Do we risk creating a biological gap between the cognitively enhanced and, well, everyone else? This is a debate that's moving really fast from philosophy class into the real world.
Which leads us with this final mind-bending thought from Neil deGrasse Tyson. The ultimate challenge in all of this is that we are using the very same organ that we are trying to understand. The brain is literally studying itself. And maybe, just maybe, the most exciting discoveries won't be the answers we find, but the entirely new questions we finally realize we should have been asking all along.